I've always liked a good movie. Lately, I've been on a marathon on watching oldies like Back to the Future or RoboCop. Truth be told, those are bangers, but movies today are just not the same. Everything is severely CGI'd and it ruins the immersion with glitchy animation. Now, with Netflix taking over Warner's brother, you can imagine the vibe you're gonna get from movies made by them. Personally, I have not seen anything I like from Netflix except for Squid Game Season 1. Movies used to have actors getting into the woodwork of the film. You have fight scenes that look like a fight. Everything was touching the realm of extreme violence and controversial events. It was extreme and unusual, but it felt real. The way a scene in a film can change the mood in the room is immersive. There were feel-good moments. The ending would usually result in a character experiencing some sort of tragedy and overcoming a tragedy, and in a way, it would feel like some kind of lesson to be learned. I personally like this because I believe in the modern philosophy that you are dealt a horrible hand and it's up to you to make the best play with it. Now movies are all about the most popular A-list actors being themselves instead of being the character. I didn't know how to gauge good acting until I realized this. When I watched The Truman Show, there wasn't a moment where I realized the main character was actually Jim Carrey until the credits rolled in. You see, Jim Carrey's acting style is always ecstatic and over the top. In The Truman Show, he was that, but also you can see the pessimism affecting his personality traits. And the ecstatic personality that he has, you don't really think Jim Carrey at the same time. Meanwhile, in the present, Marvel movies are a great example of modern crappy cinema. Instead of talking about the movie, it's mainly centered around the actors. It's primarily centered around your lover boy Chris Hemorrhoids, probably growing piles like he blowing bubbles, but I'm sure am quite tired of seeing his face. My girlfriend is tired of seeing his face. Even though she was his fan, it's just amazing how seeing the same face over and over again, doing the same thing over and over again, trying to act suave and cool and be witty with their liners and just not shutting up, is a huge turnoff. There's no problem with his face. It's a good looking face, but it's followed by bad acting. His work with Marvel and Witcher is abysmal. Wait, is that? I don't know, maybe his other brother, but the acting is still bad, and their acting style, both brothers, they just act like themselves. How is that acting? When you are acting, your job is to be someone else. Acting like yourself is not acting. It's just making a video of someone being themselves. No wonder he'd never get any serious roles like Tom Hanks do. The idea of movies are just slowly dying off because realistically, it's a huge gamble to spend $30 million betting huge money on a team to pull off a 2-hour masterpiece. So logically, it is better to pay actors by episodes in a TV show. So if the movie show flops, they can cancel it and cut their losses. Call it what you want, but I never felt immersed in TV movie hybrids that are 50 minutes long. It's always too short to get me acclimated to a character before the credits roll in and you're like, ah, snap, time for the next episode. And when you start an episode, you're hit with the previously on Squid Game. Like, do I need a reminder what happened like 20 minutes ago? It feels like it's just filling space to make the episode feel 60 minutes long when it's realistically 40 to 50 minutes long. It's actually a shame. Majority of my favorite movies are from the 90s and 80s. Seeing how Netflix subscribers are people in their 20s and 30s, they barely get to experience that immersion, or they never get to experience it at all. So they believe that the Netflix slop is the best cinema can do. Just 40 minutes of build up before a credit interruption and done. Next episode. The way cinema is declining feels dystopian, like as if we don't know better. and this is the slop we absorb, and we return to work to slave away, and while we work we think about the next episode instead of watching a movie and putting it behind us so we can focus on our work. This is how Netflix or Marvel keep you engaged. They give you a unfinished story so you may look forward to it while you slave. Keep thinking about it. Don't focus on your job. Don't focus on your hobby. Don't focus on your family. Yes, they want your relationship to fail so you have nothing to do with your life but to keep watching shows on Netflix. If you think this TV slop or movie hybrid show slop from Netflix is so important, here's an example, personal experience. I have a coworker that used to watch TV shows all the time, but when she gave birth to her child, she immediately dropped all the TV shows she was keeping up with and focused on raising her kid. When I drove her home, instead of watching some Netflix trending show, now she just look at Google Maps and keeping an eye on the clock to see what time it is because she's living on a restricted timing. And surprisingly enough, her life improved. Isn't that surprising? When someone has priorities in their lives, they stop watching TV shows, and missing out on TV shows or crappy movies didn't negatively affect their lives at all. There are people that treat TV shows differently. Some use it as a pastime, some treat it like an eccentric hobby. I use it as a form of learning. However, with all the TV shows I've watched, the only two shows I've learned a life lesson from are Frieren and Berserk. Kinda not worth learning from TV shows when I spent 255 days watching anime. Now that I'm probably as old as your dad, I don't watch TV shows anymore. It just feels like there's nothing to learn. It feels like it's a marketing attempt to promote the next big actor that I never like to get invested into. I never find a charm in studying the personal lives of any celebrity. I don't care about someone that I'll never meet, and I don't think it's a good way to live. You can read up on how many times Justin Bieber got arrested, but I don't see the charm in knowing anything about someone personally that I will never meet. And even if you do meet them, it would be weird if you know all these things about them when you don't actually know them personally. Now, the question is, will cinema improve? Yes, but not for the next decade at least. Truth is, Netflix are gonna keep milking this movie show hybrid model until it dries out and people get bored of it. Everyone gets bored of the same thing, then they will change to a new model. Will it go back the old way? Maybe. If you look at fashion, the style from the 80s and 90s are back, and now there's this whole thing with the vintage trend, and I think it's getting pretty neat. Better than the broccoli haircut for sure. And also in the gaming industry, gaming has been in the decline for the past decade and a half. And right now, this year, I think gaming has been the best for the past 15 years. So, you know, things will get better. And despite there being no quality cinema, there's plenty of old cinema to watch. I think at the rate of me watching movies, which is about 3 movies per week, it'll take me like 35 years to finish all the good ones. By then, I'm sure things will get better and we'll have our quality cinema again.